Cybercab is very exciting if it's real. Well, guys, I got bad news for you. It is real, but this is going to disrupt a lot of industries. It's going to disrupt taxis, Uber, Lyft, all that. But what about the London Black Cab? It is a staple of all things London, for sure. We got to check it out. And of course, if we're going to do that, we got to talk to somebody who knows a thing or two about the UK. That is Will from Tesla Jigsaw. He's got a fantastic channel. You should head over there and follow him. He is coming up on 10,000 subscribers, and you could be one of the lucky few to say, I knew him when. I'm glad enough that I had that opportunity almost 2 years ago. And I've met him again since then, even in person. How crazy is that? I'm Brian. Welcome to Future Ozzy. So London Black Cab, that's iconic, right?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, it's still chugging away though. I thought they were all electric, but it turns out the electric ones are in fact range extenders. So you've got a 1.5 litre petrol engine, turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. It's a unit from Volvo, which is now obviously known as Geely, however you want to pronounce it. Mm-hmm. So not totally electric, but they're still around. They are sort of silently gliding around. The electric motor on the back axle. The petrol motor doesn't drive the wheels directly. There's an electric motor on the back axle that does. So, you're sort of running it on petrol. You've only got about 78 miles of range, before your little generator kicks in. So it's not all great, I'll be honest.
That matches my research as well. And the only advantage to the range extender over a hybrid with direct tie to the drivetrain is that the motor the gas engine can run at a constant speed that is maximum efficiency to recharge the battery. It still isn't ideal. You'd still really like to get as clean as possible. 78 miles of range, it's better than nothing, but it's not as much as you'd like. Black cabs, how many miles a day do you think they're running on average?
Well, apparently somewhere between 70 and 150 miles is the average London Black Cab.
Okay. So in theory, on a quiet day, some of them could run all electric on the existing black cabs, but a lot of them are going to need double that range. So that's not very many miles. That's pretty good for a Cybercab. A Cybercab could handle that all electric without charging at any time during the day.
Yeah, could do. And as its lifespan is also something like 250,000 miles as well, though. So it's got a fairly decent lifespan, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think I've got a slide that says that maybe somewhere. Here we go. Yes, this looks like it's saying anywhere around 239 might be a good estimate, though it is difficult to estimate for sure. That's a pretty good lifespan. What do you attribute that to? Is it just probably quality craftsmanship and good maintenance?
Well, yeah, it's come from Volvo, I suppose, hasn't it? It's been tried and tested for a long time. So the actual structure of the taxi hasn't changed so much, I suppose, has it? It's just the actual propulsion system.
Yeah, all of that makes sense. Now, I think when it comes to something like a Waymo, you're not going to get 239,000 miles. Not on a Jaguar I-Pace, not on a Kona or Hyundai Ioniq, whatever it is that they're using. Those vehicles are not really built for 200,000+ miles, certainly not 200,000+ miles of public use. So I think of the three options, if we say Waymo, Cybercab, and Black Cab might have a small edge for potential range, but that Cybercab is definitely designed for that range as well. I would say of the three options, Waymo is the loser on that one. Let's talk about how many passengers fit in a London Black Cab.
5.
So you've got 3 facing forward, like one sideways, and then
I think so. And then a drop-down seat when you're facing backwards. And can't you get someone in the front as well? I'll be honest, I haven't been in one for years because every time I go, I just drive my Tesla because it's far cheaper than public transportation for me.
We will get into the cost of it because that is That is
Yeah.
where the rubber won't meet the road for long because
Well,
you
yeah.
can't
Yeah.
afford rubber at that price. No, so yeah, the black cab does have the advantage. 5 seats is fantastic. Most rides are still 1 to 2 people. I don't know if that's also true of the London black cabs. I tried to
Hmm.
research it. I could
Yeah,
not
me
find the
too. I couldn't
answer.
find any info on that. So,
I,
are we all
I,
just basing this cybercab theory on New York? Is it where everyone's just 1 or 2 passengers per vehicle?
no, it's the US.
The
It's
US as a whole, 1 to 2
yes,
people as
yes,
passengers. Oh, okay, that's good to hear. But I'd assume that that's the same in cities around the world too. You would expect that to be the same, wouldn't you?
I would.
But yes, you can fit 5. But you also have to imagine, you're lugging around a big black cab all the time with seating for 5, but you're still probably just doing 1 to 2 people, on your journey. So it's probably not the most efficient way to transport people around compared to a cybercab, I suppose.
But if the London black cabs are gone and I need to move 5 people, what would Tesla send for me?
That would be the Robovan.
Oh no! Well, I mean, even before that, it would be the Model
Oh,
Y or the Model X or the. I mean,
well, it would, 2 cybercabs would do the trick.
well, yes. I mean, you could do multiple cybercabs, but all Tesla vehicles should be able to enter the network. If you want a Model X to take you, get a Model X if that's what you need.
We are a little Model X limited in the UK, remember, because we don't have the
Oh, yeah.
right-hand drive variety.
That's
So there's
right.
not many of them left. They're quite a rare sight.
They did have the reach across grabby handles that they sold you, that they gave you with the Model S's for a while. That was a hilariously terrible workaround.
Yes.
So these black cabs, I mean, they're ubiquitous. They must be cheap, right?
No, the cost per mile can range from £3.78 to £4.84 per mile. That's not very cheap. But here's the problem: the average London taxi driver salary in the United Kingdom is £39,000 per year. That's I mean, let's face it, no one is earning enough money to to live in the UK at the moment because it's so horrifically taxed and everything's just super expensive. But of course, it's going to cost that sort of money for a black cab. They've got to earn their way, haven't they? These taxi drivers, and the cost of fuel is crazy too. Whether it's electric or petrol, even in if you're not filling up at home, let's say, and you've got to pay for electricity from a public charger, that's not even cheap in London anymore.
That's outrageous. That seems
Yeah.
unreasonable. That's like $5 a mile.
Yeah, remind me of the predicted cost of a cybercab then, what you think that might be.
I think it's going to be $1. I think it's going to be $1. I've seen people say it'll be 25 cents or 50 cents. I don't think it'll be that cheap. Uber's network cost alone is 60 cents a mile. And that includes insurance and, the platform itself. I don't see how Tesla could reduce that to a sixth. That's a substantial drop. But even at $1, it would vastly undercut everyone else because Uber, a lot of people say, yeah, but Uber's $1. Where do you live? I don't think I've ever paid less than $2, and sometimes I've paid as much as $3 to $5 a mile for very short trips that took me $20 to go not very far. In any case, it certainly wasn't $4 or $5.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. As we're starting today, though, the number of black taxis in London has already fallen from 22,500 in 2013 to just 15,000 in 2023. That's despite the move to electric. 54% of London's licensed taxis are now electric, though, with the number of electric taxis increasing by 24% in the last year alone. But the fall, obviously, is probably due to things like Uber, a mass attack of cycle lanes in London, the e-bike revolution, I suppose, and the financial strain, the profitability for being a black cabbie now is nowhere near as good as it was before, I suppose. So it's going to keep on depleting, I guess.
Sure. How much does a black cab cost?
Oh, what to buy?
Yeah. Well, I've got this number that says $55,599.
I got that too, which is about $70,000, if I'm correct.
Wow. So this article says, here's some cars that are cheaper than the hilariously expensive. You could get this guy, I don't know if that's a better option, but then, it's trying to make some cases for these other vans. You could get a nice Audi. Uh, yeah, you could get a Mercedes. Your black
Mm.
cab costs more than a Mercedes. Uh, that's not great. These are unfortunately not loading, but a 718 Porsche Cayman S. So that's expensive, my man,
Yeah, it
compared
is a bit. Yeah.
compared to a Cybercab, which even at launch probably won't be more than 40 to 50,000, and over time will get down to 25,000. It's 1/3 of the cost to
Yeah.
acquire. You could
And
send three for the cost of a black cab.
yeah, it could get crazy cheap to travel, and that's what I'm really excited about for the future. And seeing cybercabs driving around London will be well, absolutely wonderful sight one day, won't it?
It would. Let me ask you this. We've got three options here. We've got the black cab, the Waymo model, and the Cybercab. On cost to acquire, who wins?
But it's going to be cybercab, isn't
It's
it?
got to be. It's got to be, because even at that double price that I suggested might be the launch price, it's still cheaper than the black cab or the Waymo prior to modification. So then the cost per mile, the clear winner would be Cybercab, right? So
Yeah.
the only, and on survivability, it goes to either the black cab or the Cybercab. We don't know yet because the Cybercab doesn't exist yet, but it certainly wouldn't go to the Waymo. So with all that said, I mean, who stands a chance against this thing? I guess the solution is wrap them in black so we can keep some nostalgia.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Here's a couple of fun facts for you, though. Black cabs are tall enough to accommodate a person wearing a bowler hat. That's why they're tall enough when you get in. Thought you might like that one. The taxi trade in London began in the 1600s with horse-drawn carriages, and the first petrol-powered taxi arrived in London in 1903. So, it's about time for a change again, isn't it? It's been a while since there's been a big disruption, and I think Cybercab's going to disrupt like nothing else that's come before it.
I've only been in a black cab once. It was when we were in Farnborough for Fully Charged in 2023, and it was fine. It was comfortable. I didn't need that much space. I could see why someone would like the ease of getting in and out of something that size. I had forgotten my bowler hat, of course, unfortunately. A mistake I will not replicate.
They always carry a spare in the boot.
Oh, good. So that's crazy. Guys, what I'd like to hear from you is, what is transportation like where you live? If it's in the US, what would it take for a Cybercab to make more sense than owning a vehicle? And for that matter, would you get a Cybercab for yourself and rent it out all day when you're not using it? And for that matter, if you're going to do that, when it's time for you to use it, would you summon it back or let it keep making money and you just take someone else's Cybercab? Because what's the difference? Let us know in the comments below. Hey, head over to Tesla Jigsaw, see what he's up to. He's got some fantastic videos. He's got a very recent one that's come out about the Cube. It's probably out by now, but I got a sneak peek of it, and it is ridiculous, and I loved it. So be on the lookout for that. Everybody else, subscribe, please subscribe. I am trying to hit 100,000 this year. I only need 100 a day to get there, but we can do it as a team. And stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when you're getting around hands free.